Hello, welcome back to Market Mamas. Okay, this episode is long overdue. Our name is Market Mamas, and it's true, it's who we are, two mothers who also trade the stock market. So today we want to spend a little time talking about the experience of merging both of those two roles.
Yeah, this topic is near and dear to our hearts and really intricate to our journeys for sure. Okay, so I have three boys and they are 11, 5, and 1.5 years old. So it's pretty busy in my house with three younger ones, and they all have fairly different needs at those different age ranges. So different stages of development, different balance. So being a mama is definitely my most critical and cherished role in my life. My husband and I had some fertility struggles and had to be very intentional with the help of modern medicine to have our babies. And so we feel, everyone feels grateful, but we're so very grateful to have them. We consistently put forth all of our primary effort to raising them with the fullest love and security and education, enrichments and balance in their life. It's like chores, homework, outside play, and vegetables meets toys, some video game times, occasional treat. That's the type of balance that we strive for. My husband and I choose to teach them by example and work hard on ourselves to build the life that we want for our family, and then also enjoy the benefits as they naturally come on the flip side of that hard work. I embrace this opportunity to show them the value of digging into and learning something so hard as day trading, as this is a trade that has overwhelming potential to elevate our lives. And so it's true. Children learn the most by watching how you do your life. So why should I expect them to work hard at learning, be patient and curious, treat themselves with kindness, healthy choices, and respect for themselves if I don't do that? So I try and cherish my balance and approach to life even more because I know that it's teaching them to cultivate that from what they see from me, and that will become their nature as they grow. So it's all intertwined.
It totally is. And it's just so awesome that we're doing a Market Moms episode to honor motherhood, the magnitude of motherhood and the different phases and stages, I've been blessed to experience is something that I just treasure so much in my own life. So I'm sort of an OG mom. I started out very young. I had my first child at 17. So I know I don't look like it, but I have a 20-year-old daughter. I also have two sons, 13 and 11. But it still feels like yesterday that they were littles and I was just completely consumed in all those, needs of those, ages and stages. But honestly, it's just as much now. It's just different type of focus and a different type of needs. So like the saying goes, parenting is a lifetime job. It does not stop just because your child grows up. And I think it's kind of funny, I hear a lot of people say that, the hardest years are when they're young, because they're so dependent, but I really beg to differ. For me, physically, yes, the earlier years can be very taxing, with all the care and keeping, for sure. But as they get older, the impact of having, this person you created now trying to help them develop into, their own, find their own place in the world, that's just, that can be hard. We do live in a very, cold and cruel world, and that can just be emotionally taxing for sure. So, and then there's just everything in the middle, right? That we just don't have the time to cover. But I've also, mentioned previously that I am a special needs mama. So my approach, to motherhood has been challenged, but it's also been equally enriched, through this special calling. So I'll just share a perspective that really helps me, not feel so different from other moms. I believe that every child eventually has their own set of special needs. I was just fortunate enough to be made aware of my children sooner, and it granted me the understanding and compassion and ability to serve them better.
Oh, Kendra, that's speaking to me. Okay. So for me, I started to learn about trading after I actually had a back injury at work. And so that put me home on a medical leave for a surgery that I had to have. So this provided me with a period in my life where I wasn't able to perform the physical duties of a nurse, but my mind was craving to be challenged. So I started learning to trade. I joined my first program and I really fell in love with the market. And that's where I met Kendra. I would study when the kids were at school or asleep at night. I would trade in the mornings early before they woke up and then get them off to school and come back and get back at my charts. So I would balance their needs with that of my newfound love, the stock market. You got to find time to get it all in. I would grow my relationships with fellow traders within my trading groups and find support there for the struggles that I soon found myself working through. I had to figure out what the right balance was for my family, how much time I could steal away to learn this new world without any of them feeling neglected or any of their key needs at home not being met. So my days were often broken up between trading, kids' breakfast, off to school, trading, studying, then a break for exercise or physical therapy when I was in that acute injury phase. And then you get the kids from school. So it's just pinging back and forth. When they were in bed at night, I would spend another hour or two or sometimes 3 if I got sucked in, at my computer. That's when I would do like studying, back testing, journaling. It's taken a fair amount of effort to walk this line of meeting all the needs. And it really has not always been easy at all. And even still now, even still these weeks, it's a balancing act for real. But my pace right now with everything is just the best that it can be for this phase of life that I'm in. And instead of like wishing it was any different, I just have put forth energy to choose gratitude for my madness because it's fun.
Right. It's crazy how we've managed to meld our trading into our already full lives. I always like to say, we are capable of so much more than we think. It doesn't mean we don't burn out, still from time to time for sure. But, we always get back on the horse. So, okay. So I started trading, learning about trading, I should say, during the pandemic. It was after my husband opened up an E-Trade account, and he bought some stocks like very much close to like those lowest lows, that we saw. It was like everything was a lottery ticket, basically, right? So seeing, those gains that he started showing me, through the latter part of, 2020, as the market rebounded, it got me interested. And I was like, I want to make some money too. So later, so basically, for Christmas, he, funded my own E-Trade account. And then I just basically, started, buying penny stocks. I realized like I had no idea what I was doing. It's like I was just clueless pretty much. So I quickly decided, okay, I need to like look into this like for real. And I'm not going to invest any more, time and money unless I, do this the right way. So that's what led me to eventually purchase my very first trading education course. And so much like Becky, it was a big lifestyle change for sure. Schools were still closed. I was deep in distance learning, like a lot of us were. And so I just joined the 4 a.m. club. I had to get in my study time, while everyone else was asleep. But it wasn't that big of a deal for me because, I had already, in the past, like gotten up that early for work. So I just told myself, like, if you've gotten up this early, to make someone else rich, you can get up this early to make yourself rich. So that was my energy. That was the whole vibe. I was like, let's get this in, like, let's learn this material. And I fell in love with it, So I also had evening sessions that I really wanted to attend and take part in. So it was just a lot of will and drive, to make it happen, and good support, which I'm very grateful for. And not much has changed now, 3 years later. I'm still giving a huge part of my time, my energy, my resources, dedication, towards becoming a successful day trader. And I would do it all over again and choose myself, bet on myself many times over if I had to.
Yeah, well said. Okay, so I know that I said this in another episode, but I have been asked quite a few times from other people how I'm doing all of the things from friends and family who are not in the trading world. Still being at the hospital a few days a week, learning to day trade, raising the 3 kids, and now the podcast. So the simple answer really is that I love them all, and we make time for what really matters to us. We all do that. And the humans are actually capable of far, far more than most people choose to push themselves to. The wise and inspirational Marie Forleo expressed this point really well. She said, your potential is limitless. You are unique, valuable, capable, and worthy of the dreams in your heart. Most of all, you have what it takes to transform and transcend whatever challenges you face. It's like that is like, yes, that's it. Okay, really quick story to sort of bring it together for me. So one time in the emergency department, I had a patient, and she was a retired physician assistant, and she was in her 80s at this time. So I was taking care of her and preparing her to be discharged home. She just entranced me that morning with stories of her full, beautiful life. She also had 3 children, and in their maturity, they are 2 doctors and a business owner. And so I asked her, I was like, what is your secret to raising such successful children? Especially after I had met one of her physician sons and saw that he was like so kind and really supportive and attentive to her. I was like, these are parenting goals, what I'm seeing in you. So her answer was really simple. She said, you have to have your life. As a mother, you pursue your dreams. You fight to be the woman that you want to be, and you show your children what it looks like to be strong and expect the best of yourself in all aspects of your life and relationships, and accept no less. So she was a working mother her whole life, but also balanced that with raising her kids and being very involved in their lives too. So she told me that this taught them by example the power of perseverance, unwavering faith in yourself, confidence in your abilities, and your strength to do more. And that working hard will constantly deliver rewards for that effort. And the ultimate responsibility of taking care of your family is up to you and how you deem it best. So this was a strong example from her to them that was the greatest gift that she said she could bestow upon them. So we each have so many layers of grit, stamina, and heart in us to really do so much if we choose to kind of pull from those depths to believe in it. I'll never forget that morning with her and her son. It has stayed with me for nearly a decade now, as this interaction was when I only had one small baby so far, about 10 years ago. So some lessons in life I've learned really speak to your core. And this is one that has definitely guided me as a parent over the years, and also now helps guide me in my day trading and market mama's pursuits. It's like I will be unstoppable because I'm building this life of my dreams, and my children are watching every day. So I want to give them something to see that may later guide them from deep within their subconscious, that they also can build their most beautiful, full lives while still caring for those that they love. Like, we can do it all.
Totally. We can and we are. So, wow. I love that story so much, Becky. It's just amazing when, people or events, they come into our lives and they just leave such an imprint. Incredible. So, I think we can all agree that parenting is one of the most complex, judged, and sometimes bullied arenas in our society. I found something a few years back that also really stuck with me too. I'm going to read the Wholehearted Parenting Manifesto. This is by the amazing Brene Brown, and it just completely sums up, the way that I hope and, strive to show up in my children's lives. So here it goes. Above all else, I want you to know that you are loved and lovable. You will learn this from my words and actions. The lessons on love are in how I treat you and how I treat myself. I want you to engage with the world from a place of worthiness. You will learn that you are worthy of love, belonging, and joy every time you see me practice self-compassion and embrace my own imperfections. We will practice courage in our family by showing up, letting ourselves be seen, and honoring vulnerability. We will share our stories of struggle and strength. There will always be room in our home for both. We will teach you compassion by practicing compassion with ourselves first, then with each other. We will set and respect boundaries. We will honor hard work, hope, and perseverance. Rest and play will be family values as well as family practices. You will learn accountability and respect by watching me make mistakes and make amends, and by watching how I ask for what I need and talk about how I feel. Powerful stuff, right? I want you to know joy, so together we will practice gratitude. I want you to feel joy, so together we will learn how to be vulnerable. When uncertainty and scarcity visit, you will be able to draw from a spirit that is in a part of our everyday life. Together we will cry and face fear and grief. I will want to take away your pain, but instead I will sit with you and teach you how to feel it. We will laugh and sing, dance and create. We will always have permission to be ourselves with each other, no matter what you will always belong here. As you begin your wholehearted journey, the greatest gift I can give you is to live and love with my whole heart and to dare greatly. I will not teach or love or show you anything perfectly, but I will let you see me, and I will always hold sacred the gift of seeing you, truly, deeply seeing you. I mean, that says it all, right?
That's absolutely gorgeous and so well written. I really an incredible find that speaks to us always. All right, another parenting lesson I've got. This one is my own parents remind me of this all the time. So one important point that sticks with me from them is, as now they're grandparents, it's truly how fast childhood goes. So my mom, I think, is still coping with the fact that I am grown. And I'm sure I will feel the same way when my boys are men. So I've got to prioritize them every single day. I purposely make time each day to kind of lock eye contact with them and really hear their words. Like, I want to know how they're feeling, how school is going, what they're dreaming of, what their friends are obsessed with, what they enjoy most with their hobbies. I know I can keep relentlessly pushing towards my goals so long as I'm also always making time for them and their lives simultaneously. It's important to me that I show up for their field trips, plan extra play dates, teach them how to cook or ride a bike, go sledding in our park when the snow hits. I have to balance it all. This allows me to feed all of the loves of my heart, and sure, it leaves me exhausted, but also really fulfilled. I'm very rarely feel like I accomplish enough in a day for my trading or my market mama's work. Sometimes that weighs on me that I want to do more there. But most days, I wish I had done more back testing, chart studying, writing more for the podcast episode. However, my life just is where it is, and there's only so many hours in a day. And for me, I feel the most content when I always put the kids first with my time, because they're only kids for a short minute. That phrase, long days, short years, is so true, I think, when you are balancing so much like this. Sometimes the days are like, it's never going to be bedtime, I'm so tired. But then in a minute, they're like so much older. So I know that I'll be able to build and compound the other work that I'm doing for decades to come. But for right now, for me, this time in my life and theirs, they're only this age for this minute. You know, my baby is learning to say words, and when he says something so silly and like my husband and I are the only ones who know what he's saying because it's the baby talk. It's like, that's going to change so fast. He's going to pronunciating so much clearer in like a heartbeat. So anytime that I feel twinges of regret for not progressing one personal goal or another, such as my trading growth, I just bring their little faces to my mind, their little voices, and those cute little words that the baby says. And even my 5-year-old, like, he's at that phase where he's learning to read, and like his voice and his words are maturing, and it's happening fast. So I put that in my forefront of my mind, and I know instantly in that moment that my pace with everything else is what it is, and it's all that it needs to be for now, because with our family, it's the right balance. Like, everything else is going to come along. I'm going to like focus on their sweet little faces and voices for now. And that's what brings me peace and patience with my pace of it all.
Peace, patience. I mean, I love that so much. And that's really good stuff, Becky. I love that so much. Let's talk about mom guilt, right? The endless amount of pressure we put on ourselves as moms can be quite obnoxious. I've certainly learned through the years, not to wrap my entire identity around being a mom, around being a wife, because I spent many years doing just that. Now I'm much more aware of the necessity, for women, to also feed and model other parts of themselves, the parts that they had before and the parts that they continue to develop outside of those roles. We're always evolving. So look, not every mama will become a mama in their lifetime, right? Or a wifey. And that shouldn't be a woman's gold standard. Of course, balance will always be a struggle to achieve. But your family seeing you, mostly, healed, happy, and whole, that is the gold standard. So my message to mamas out there is to take care of yourself first and foremost. You will have an even greater cup overflowing to nourish your loved ones with.
I love that so much. It's really well put. Um, so there are more and more women joining the trading world every day, or the business world for that fact. And I know that Kendra and I are not alone in this balancing act. I feel like I said balance 10 times this episode. I guess it's sort of the crux for me of momming while being a trader, but much of this is just as applicable to dads as well. So we're in no way meaning to say that this topic is only applicable to mamas, but this is just the lens with which we are experiencing it and therefore can most authentically speak to it from. We are mamas, and so that's our experience in figuring this whole thing out. So this balancing act, though, is for all parents generally daily with their personal pursuits and the children's and families' needs for healthy upbringing. So we have to remember, very importantly, to give yourself grace throughout that. The guilt doesn't help anything. Do what you need to do and then do the best you can each day and try to be 1% better the next day if you had a struggle day. Any other parents out there, does this resonate? Similar stories? Let's just keep killing it every day with what we can do for all of our loves. Take care, you guys. Thanks for being here with us.
Thank you for being here. Bye.